All right, y'all. So this story right here is fun. We've been talking for quite a long time about this Republican Civil War. We've seen different iterations of it flare up over time. I mean, you could argue the original was DeSantis versus Trump. There was a moment where DeSantis had a slight lead over Trump in the national polls, and Trump looked like he was going to fade away into obscurity, and he was just didn't seem as viable at the moment. Felt like the safe choice was Ron DeSantis for Republican voters, and then Trump came out swinging, and DeSantis tanked, and we all know the rest of that is history. We also saw in right-wing media, you had Ben Shapiro versus Steven Crowder. Look, on that front, I think Ben Shapiro has comfortably exited as the victor because Steven Crowder has all these fucking legal problems and these divorce problems, and he's a mess, and he's insufferable to work with, and he likes putting his balls on people's chins and shit. So there was that iteration that flared up. Then you had the classic Kevin McCarthy versus Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert. Now we have Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie versus Mike Johnson. So there's every day there's a new right-wing Civil War story to talk about. Well, now this is the first time I've seen sort of the more centrist House Republicans, to the extent there can be a centrist Republican. They take their gloves off here, and they are going to absolutely go for the jugular of some of the people who they view as troublemakers, like Matt Gaetz. So here's Representative Tony Gonzales, and listen to what he says here.
Do you have confidence that at this point, given that it is still possible that Marjorie Taylor Greene will push to kick him out of the Speaker's chair, that he can survive?
He will survive. Look, the House is a rough and rowdy place, but Mike Johnson is going to be just fine. I served 20 years in the military. It's my absolute honor to be in Congress, but I served with some real scumbags. Look, Matt Gaetz, he paid minors to have sex with him at drug parties. Bob Good endorsed my opponent, a known neo-Nazi. These people used to walk around with white hoods at night. Now they're walking around with white hoods in the daytime.
God damn, son. God damn. He said, homie's a pedophile and a drug addict, and this motherfucker right here is an outright Nazi. Klansman. Whoo! Wow. I don't know if I've ever seen the more centrist Republicans take the gloves off like this, right? Usually you get the Mitt Romney types huffing and puffing, but you're not defending our democracy. Yes. That's the extent of their, like, Trump is bad, yes, and he's owned by Russia, yes. That's there. This guy's like, that motherfucker's a Nazi, that motherfucker's a Klansman, you fuck children, you're a drug addict. God damn, I got to hear this again.
He will survive. Look, the House is a rough and rowdy place, but Mike Johnson is going to be just fine. I served 20 years in the military. It's my absolute honor to be in Congress, but I served with some real scumbags. Look, Matt Gaetz, he paid minors to have sex with him at drug parties. Bob Good endorsed my opponent, a known neo-Nazi. These people used to walk around with white hoods at night. Now they're walking around with white hoods in the daytime. What didn't surprise me that some of these folks voted against aid to Israel, but I was encouraged to see by a nearly 10-to-1 mark that Republicans supported our allies on the battlefield.
Oh, he just blew it all up. He just drove the car into a ditch. Now you just made the pedo drug addict and the Klansman look more reasonable than you. Because your main issue is that you're mad some of these Republicans don't want to send more money to Israel. By the way, over 98% of the Republicans want to send more money to Israel. In fact, my understanding was it was only Thomas Massie who's against more money to Israel. I guess maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene you throw her in there. I don't know. But there's certainly more Democrats who are against sending money. 80% of the Democrats are in favor of more money to Israel. 20% are against, right? Which is still horrible. Should be like 100% against. But among the Republicans, this is your big issue? This is your big issue with the pedo drug addict? Is that this motherfucker might have been, and I thought he was for sending more money to Israel. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's against sending more money to Israel. But if that's the case, then you just found something good about the dude. Jesus Christ. Imagine, like, harshly, morally condemning these people, and then in the next breath saying, they don't even want to fund the genocidal ethnic cleansers. Can you believe that? They're against giving more money to the genocidal ethnic cleansers. They don't want to support Adolf Hitler. That's disgusting. Send more money to Adolf. I can't with these people. I was all ready and all excited to sit here and be like, all right, yeah, here we go. A centrist Republican taking the gloves off. I thought he would be hitting, Matt Gaetz and whoever else, these gaggle of idiots, because they don't understand how the legislative process works, and they want to cut more money from the social safety net, and that's their problem, is they say no to absolutely everything, even when they're able to get some concessions from the Democrats, but they don't take yes for an answer ever. I thought that was going to be his... No. The first thing he brings up is, they don't even want to fund Israel. Don't you know all of us respectable people are in favor of sending more money to bomb hospitals and schools and mosques and churches and roads and UN buildings? All reasonable people are in favor of those things. How dare you? Homie just made himself look less ethical than a pedo drug addict and a Klansman. That is quite an accomplishment. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.